What's going on, guys? I'm Dan. This is Scented Waters, and today we have another review for you from the House of Parfums Vintage. But before we go any further, how about you hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and hit that bell. So, Parfums Vintage has come out with another fragrance. This time it's their take on Dior's Bois d'Argent, and this one's called Sublime Musc. Before we get into the actual fragrance itself, how about I give you the notes? For the top notes, you have juniper berries, cypress, and iris. And for the mid, you have incense, myrrh, patchouli, and honey. And for the base, you have vanilla, musk, and amber. If you've purchased any of Parfums Vintage fragrances, you already know what the presentation looks like. So here's the box, name of the fragrance, back, mural, bottle, same bottle, classy type bottle, I feel. Nice label on the front with the name of the fragrance and nice label on the bottom. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a sticker at the bottom that shows the name, concentration, and size of the bottle. And this one obviously is an eau de parfum concentration, and this is a 1.7 ounce. And you also have that wood cap on the top, and then True Parfums Vintage sprayers, nice sprayers like always. Gives you that nice little Dior aspect. So Sublime Musc is Parfums Vintage take on Dior's Bois d'Argent. I have a decant of Bois d'Argent just to compare it to Sublime Musc. And to be honest, I've done my testing, done the comparison side by side, and my take on it. So at first spray of this fragrance, you do get the vanilla, amber, a little bit of woodiness. I think it's from the cypress. Smells very good, very pleasant, and a slight muskiness to it. It's very slight. Now comparing it to Bois d'Argent, the actual Dior fragrance, side by side, Bois d'Argent has more of a dry, woody type aspect to it with a slight chocolatiness to it that I get from it. I'm pretty sure that's not what is in it because I didn't even look up the notes of Bois d'Argent, to be completely honest. But Bois d'Argent just seems a little bit drier than Sublime Musc. Sublime Musc just seems a lot more sweeter and not as dry. It just seems a little bit more moist. Bois d'Argent has more of a dry, woody type aspect with a slight vanilla in it, and Sublime Musc has more of a vanilla and amber aspect to it rather than the dry woodiness, which just gives it a more bolder type fragrance, at least in my perspective. I prefer Sublime Musc a little bit more just for the aspect of the boldness and less dry. When it comes to dry fragrances, to me, they just feel cold. Even though Bois d'Argent feels like it's supposed to be a warm fragrance, but when you compare the two, if I were to just smell Bois d'Argent by itself, I'd feel that that one's a great fragrance for a cooler weather, which it is a great fragrance for a cooler weather, but this one just seems a little bit more bold. Sublime Musc seems a little bit more bold, and Bois d'Argent just seems slightly less toned down than this one. So this one is pretty much a more amped up in the sweetness and amber aspect, where those are just more of a warmer type notes. And this one, Sublime Musc, I feel just bumps that up. This is just a boosted up Bois d'Argent, where if you were to take Bois d'Argent and focus on a certain note or aspect of it, this would be it, as in the aspect of being more warmer and more inviting. So this one for me is more inviting than Bois d'Argent is. Bois d'Argent just seems just more grown up than this one. This is a grown man's fragrance as well, but let's just say if you were to knock off 10-15 years of age, this would be it, I feel. Maybe a weird comparison, but that's just pretty much how I see it. So this one would be more of the youthful version. There you go, a more youthful version of Bois d'Argent. Sublime Musc is a more youthful version, I feel. Not to say that they're far separated from each other in smell. If you were to smell them both in the air, I'd say that they both smell pretty much alike. And someone that's not really into fragrances that much, I don't think could tell the difference. But if you were to smell them side by side, you just feel that Bois d'Argent just has a slightly more dryness than Sublime Musc does. One thing with Sublime Musc and most of Parfums Vintage fragrances, it is easy to go nose blind to these fragrances, where I thought I couldn't smell it anymore, but when I had my girl smell my neck just to see if it's still there, she said, oh yeah, it's definitely still there. And it smelled pretty good to her. She likes it. This one actually brought a lot of memories to her of family members from back then. Not saying that this is a dated fragrance, but in the Cuban culture, which my girl's Cuban, and in the Cuban culture, a lot of women wore men's fragrances, and this was something that reminded her of her youth, to be completely honest. But to me, this is a great fragrance all around. It doesn't seem dated or aged to me. This is a fragrance that I feel wears great for ages 25 and up. It's a more mature type of fragrance. This is a great fragrance for situations as in like a date fragrance. This is actually a great date fragrance, I feel. Great nighttime, great for the office as well. Temperature controlled environment. I don't see this being a good hot weather fragrance, but obviously you can wear whatever you want, whenever you want, but just be light on the trigger, at least in my eyes. If I wear this during the summertime or during the heat, whoa. If I were to wear this during the heat, I will definitely be a light on the trigger. I can see this being a little bit too much for other people around me, or maybe it could be too intrusive, especially if you overspray. The seasons I feel that this fragrance works great for would be fall and spring. Not so much summer, not so much winter, but fall and spring. Those are the pretty much neutral type temperatures or seasons that I feel that this would work great for. Sublime Musc comes in two sizes, 50 ml, which is like about 85 bucks, and 100 ml, which I think is 139, probably 140. Giving Sublime Musc a rating 1 out of 10. I give this one a good solid 8 because I'm more into those more warm type fragrances. This one actually threw me for a loop because I had never smelled Bois d'Argent ever in my life, and when I smelled this, I was actually expecting more of a citrus summer type fragrance, but the fact that it had like more of that warm vanilla, amber, slight woodiness aspect to it, this pretty much won me over just off a first sniff. So there you go, guys. That's my take on Sublime Musc from Parfums Vintage. Let me know in the comment section, have you smelled this fragrance yet? Have you smelled Bois d'Argent from Dior? If not, get a sample, get your nose on it. And also get a sample from somewhere. I think there's a whole bunch of fragrance groups out there that have samples of certain type of fragrances. I'll leave a link in the description area of where I got my sample from. I forgot the name, but I think it's called myfragrance.com or something like that. But I'll leave the link in the description area. So don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and hit that bell. Sublime Musc from Parfums Vintage. Great fragrance, but at the end of the day, still scent the water.